My beautiful family, brothers and sisters, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for hanging out as we attempt to read these scriptures and to figure them out. And thank you to all of you. I truly believe that all of you guys out there are my family. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the family and the love and the support and just all of you guys who are out there. So I thank you again and again and again. And I think the kingdom of Yah is going to be an amazing place. I think it'll be a joyful place. It'll be a place that everybody is celebrating a great endeavor that they have accomplished in their time that we have been given 120 years to be tested on these lands. And the testing for most seems to be a complete big fail if you hold it up to the words of our Creator. Now, when we're talking our scriptures, we're talking all scriptures. And what you see before you is a book that has included all scriptures. This is Yah Scriptures. I still stand by as the greatest English translation of scriptures that has ever been developed and that is out there for us. And it has a restored name of our Creator. And as you go through this book and as you read slowly, you will see that our Creator not only had an intelligent design for us, and you can see that throughout just looking at us. You can look at your hand, pick up your hand and look at the fingerprints on the end of your finger, and you can see that everything has been perfectly made. And that in a design, if we didn't have fingerprints, a lot of the stuff that we have would be slippery. Now, we didn't get fingerprints so we could be fingerprinted by the world that's around us, but we have fingerprints so that we have the ability to feel things. We can feel what's smooth and we can feel what rough is. We can put it across these little tracks of skin that we have that we've all been created with that are 100% different in every single person. And so everything that you see, imagine a hand without fingernails. Imagine trying to itch something. Living in the middle of this jungle, I literally have to put a little cross on my arm with a fingernail on these bug bites that I get all the time because they itch so bad. But if you give it a little pressure and put like what it looks like a cross at the end of it, then it's less itchy. And so all of these things that we have are absolutely magnificent. And so we don't have to go too far other than simply looking at our hand to know that we have an intelligent designer who has designed us in such a way that we are fully functional. And not only are we fully functional, but we also are articulated enough that we can move and bend in every single direction. We are able to sustain things like household colds. We can get some sort of little tickle in our nose and have a big sneeze, and we can get rid of whatever it is that was messing with us. We have all sorts of different abilities. When we get a fever, that's a good thing, right? That's the inside of us, and we're battling out whatever's going on. All of these times that we get sick and all of these illnesses that we have, these are blessings. These are thankful to our Creator that He has absolutely given us something to defend ourselves in this way. And not only are we fully defensible and defendable and offensible in all of our actions that we have, but we also have the ability to protect something even better than all of the great functionality hardware that we've been given. And that's a soul. And in that, we are able to take something out of this existence into the next existence. And that's the only thing we're going to be able to take. And when we take that, we need to make sure we're on the right side of eternity. Now, if everybody's waiting to the very last minute and deciding, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go to some righteousness. I'm gonna get rid of the Hollywood movies. I'm gonna get rid of the TV in my house. I'm gonna get rid of the terrible music. I'm gonna seek our Creator. I'm gonna align my family up with our Creator. Well, that's what it's all meant to do. That's what our purpose is. Our purpose is to get ourselves into alignment with our Creator and with His ways. And when you read these scriptures and when you talk about them, they're really good ideas. Every single thing that we find in scriptures is an absolute, very much good idea. Now, we're going to the book of Khalidi today, but going back to these really good ideas that I'm talking about, right before you guys, if you guys ever get the Yah Scriptures app, or if you go to Yahuwah and the Torah.net, we have all of these commands that are listed out throughout scriptures. There's about 158 or so that we can keep today. A couple of them are put down. There's like things like our dietary law, which comprise of an entire chapter, and various things that say don't eat unclean food. But I have them down here as one single command because it's eat clean food, and these are the clean food that we have. And so when you see these things and you look at the very first three, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth, these are tremendously good things. And every one of these things are things that Hasatan has completely owned us on. Instead of us being fruitful in this day and age, all of our kids and all of us, we're all hooked into these little devices. And instead of us reading our scriptures at all we do is we just go out and we look and we listen to what other people have to say. We don't formulate our own opinions. We believe what anyone says. And because we're not foundationally structured in the Torah, because we don't know the Torah, then we are falling away from this. But inside of this zombie apocalypse that we're living in right now, and I call it a zombie apocalypse because you will literally see these kids into their devices, into their games, into their social media, into all this stuff, and they're not in a reality. They are in their reality, the digital reality, their social world. And instead of having to go to school and be cool, they have all of these places that they go. And the people that they encounter for the most part aren't Torah keepers. And so if you're not a Torah keeper by default, you don't have a set of guidelines. You don't have a set of moral regulations that the rest of the people in Torah have. And so you're just sitting there offering your kids into the world, and these kids are falling in love with the other kids. And instead of our Elohim being praised, instead of fruitfulness coming to our lives and to our families and our kids growing up without this stuff, we've left them with the one-eyed babysitter, the all-seeing eye, the sleep snatcher. This is what we've done. We've left our kids into this world, and they can't be pried away from it. And when they lose internet connectivity or they lose power to their devices, all of a sudden they lift their head up out of this catatonic trance that they're in and look at the world around them. And, heaven forbid that all the devices just turn off and it frees all of society. Everybody's sitting there watching this mainstream media. Everybody's sitting there watching all of this news and all the lies and all the propaganda that are being pushed against us. Guys, this is all spell casting. If you see it coming from the Tell Live Vision programming, it is spell casting. It is stuff that you shouldn't be involved in, because they will take you from one thing of unholiness into an ad of even more unholiness and back into the thing of unholiness. And guys, that's the thing, is we are not protecting our souls. We're not being fruitful. We are not. If you want to be fruitful, pick up your scriptures and read. Read from the very first page all the way to the end of Deuteronomy, then snap that back. Do that 5 times as a foundational guide, and then continue on and read the amazing stories that come out of scriptures. The amazing fall of humanity and the amazing fall of Yisrael and the tribes and the different heritage all the way to our Messiah. And as you can see, the lineage, King David's lineage, all the way down to the days of when our Messiah was born, and how this actually all plays out and how our Creator protected all this, guys. It's all in scriptures. And when we read through this and we become enamored with this power and strength and we become savage Torah keepers, then we're going to be fruitful. We're going to snap these devices out of our kids, work them out of our kids, try to get them away, try to get them back into the kingdom, try to get them back into praising our Creator every day and not being in these trances. Multiplying, right? There's another command. I'm just only go over the first 3. Multiply. So we have the commandment that we're literally supposed to keep multiplying. And North America, imagine, how many, we have like 330 million people is all that this little country that is so well off has. And why? Well, because we kill off most of our kids. Most of our kids enter into the chambers of Moloch. We buckle our women in there, and then we snap the life of the kids out of there. And, we have these overnight pills where we just kill off the kids. We kill off the majority of our populations. We should have 1 billion people right now in the U.S. alone. There's so much land, it's so much population, so much room for everybody. But we basically killed everybody off. And so we're not multiplying. And we're not replenishing the earth. We're not taking care of it. We're killing off everything around us. And not only the kids, we're killing off all the land. And, you look at what's going on in California. You look at these engineered fires and all of this stuff that is happening right now. And none of this stuff is random happen chance. This is not some dude flicking a cigarette out into the forest and catching on with this. this is orchestrated, and there's a tremendous amount of anomalies to suggest that there's something far more nefarious going on right now. And when you look at things like Agenda 21 and the things they've laid out before us, this is all part of Agenda 21. This is the strong cities. This is the 5-minute cities, the 15-minute cities that they've been talking about forever, where they bring everybody from the outskirts and bring them all into the big cities, and that's what they're looking for. So I'm off in the weeds, trying not to get off in the weeds, but here we are, guys. If you guys can help support Yah Scriptures, YahScriptures.com is a Bible prison ministry. We are Scriptures to all the way. We are loving on our brothers and sisters in chains. The donations that come in, right now we give free Bibles regardless. The donations that are coming in for any reason whatsoever help us buy stamps so that we are able to get stamps constantly. I'm always throwing stamps to all these different states, and it costs us money, 88 cents for a round trip ticket for an email into our brothers and sisters in chains. And so with that, we have a tremendous amount of great fruit that is being born. We have a lot of brothers that are completely right out of the gate have sought our Creator, have sought His commandments, that are receptive to it, that have just decided that, hey, you know what, this is better than anything I've ever heard before, and this is something different than I've ever heard before. And this is what Torah keeping is, right? They've hidden Torah keeping, right? They say, oh, the laws of our Creator are bondage, and that's what you get into. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in the depths of the darkest prisons in the United States of America, it's all the same thing. And these demons and these Satanists that are all once saved, always saved, are popping through and trying to get all these prisoners saved and thinking that this is really saving their souls as these guys die off day after day, year after year, especially on death row. And so for everybody that's able to support YahScriptures.com, we really, really appreciate it. You can buy a Yah Scriptures in the description below. Also, we have all these different versions available. Like this Google app right here there's thousands and thousands and thousands of downloads of this. People love this app. It is a beautiful app, very much loved, and it is free of charge. Click on the downloads on YahScriptures.com, and all the other various digital ways that we have Yah Scriptures is all there. The same thing that you get in the Big Blue Book. But for those who are looking for the Big Blue Book, the Big Blue Book is right here. This is it's an absolute beauty of a thing, and it is getting very popular, guys. It's starting to organically spread out, and people are really loving it. And so thank you to everybody that has purchased one of these. We are able to get a full Scriptures into our brothers and sisters in chains by every one of you guys doing this. So simply by getting one Scriptures at $90, you guys are able to allow us to pop one of these bad boys into these prisons. And people are reading them, guys. People are loving them, and people are turning to our Creator, which is what this mission's about. We are trying to do the same thing that we do with you guys out here in YouTube land and Rumble land and Odyssey and all the places that this get to. But this is what we're called to do. So, guys, we are reading right here out of the book of Khalidi. This is the book of Nazarene. It is the last book in Yah's Scriptures. And so for those who have the Big Blue Book, it's the last one. Whoever has the app, it's the last book. If you click books and scroll all the way to the bottom, as well as everything. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry, everybody. That's what happens when you have 9 pit bulls. They are being watched as we speak, and so they get a little rowdy, if you know what I mean. So this is the book of Khalidi, and we are talking. This is Messiah. This is our Messiah. Those who call him Jesus. His name is not Jesus. His name is Yahushua. There were no J's in Hebrew, and so I'm sure he would turn around. I'm sure he would say, "What's up?" If you called him Jesus, because that's obviously a nickname to him, but it actually means the son of Zeus. And so we want to get his name correct. And that's one of the things that Yah Scriptures has correct, is it has the Paleo-Hebrew names of our Messiah and his father. And so right here in verse 25, you can see the name of our Creator, son, Yahushua, right here. So this is what he's talking about. And these are the people in the crowds that are talking to him, and he's answering things. And every time we go into this stuff, I find a lot of holes in my armor, a lot of holes in my game. I'm very much convicted as I read through the book of the Nazarene on my attitude, my actions of leading my own family, of the kids, how they've grown up, how they've grown up, and 100% of this is always on the parents, right? It's we've either lost control or something has gone awry, and the best we can do is try to correct and do things differently and do it as it goes with Torah. which is why knowing the Torah is so important, and why we have a commandment that says we need to impress the Torah upon our children, and this is a daily thing. This is not as a once a week thing on Shabbat. It's a all the day thing. We are to be praising our Elohim and getting ourselves ready for this kingdom to come, so that we are able to be qualified for this. So 25 begins with this. Almost begins. Speaking to those who had spoken previously, Yahushua said, "Woe to you self-deceivers who are false interpreters of the Torah. You are like unmarked graves which men walk over in their innocence, unaware they are being defiled. Yet nothing from outside can ever enter into a man, and solely his soul. It is what festers within him which comes out of him to reveal his uncleanness." Okay, big things here, right? We've heard this before. This is part of the verse that people are, Messiah says something. He never said this, but the evil scribes have put all food has been made clean, right? And so this verse, if you ever get anything out of it, it's not that any food has ever been made clean. Number one, we should probably talk about is why would somebody become defiled walking over an unmarked grave or or being around it, right? Because you're unclean. Whatever touches a corpse is unclean. You're unclean until even, and so you have all the things that are touching it, and you're walking over it. You're actually defiling yourself by doing that. And so Messiah continues on. He goes, "Yet nothing from outside can ever enter into a man, and solely his soul." That does not mean pig. And perhaps if you're like, okay, well, I'm going to eat pig anyway. Well, I hope that you're keeping the laws of our Creator, because if you're just eating pig and you're living without it, then on the day of accounting, then there's not going to be any innocence, because you have absolutely not kept what is absolutely matters, which is the commandments of our Creator. So when he says it is what festers within him and comes out to reveal his uncleanness, these are these things that, in this house we always call the boys club. Or if somebody says something evil, we'll flip the little light on and go, uh-oh, there's Jason's gym, or there's the kids' gym. It's like gym talk. It's the things of that nature, right? When we say things that are unkodesh, that are unholy, we're only bringing our evil thoughts and evil intent into reality. Until we say it, we are only having inside of us, and even then our Creator and his Son says that we will be judged based upon our evil thoughts. And so then we go one step further with our evil thoughts, and we actually say it, and we ring that bell, and we hurt somebody, we break their heart, we do something that is very inconsiderate, and a lot of us don't even know that we have done that. But it is something that's how we're being judged, right? What are we saying? Are we either building the kingdom up, or are we bringing it down? And if you're simply hurting people or simply bringing a new joke to fruition, and the power of speech is something amazing, right? Every animal has nothing like that, right? You have every dog that barks and growls, and they're mad based upon things, and I know they have a certain tone that they can understand what's going on with other dogs, but they don't have a member like the tongue that is able to articulate and to be able to speak like we're speaking. And so we have an ability that these things don't. And so when we are bringing evil into this world, and we're not beneficial, if we're just hanging out and we want to tell a joke or tell some evil stuff, we're only making evil stronger. And so we have a chance and the ability a lot of times by simply saying nothing, and we are less damaged, right? You come up with a bad thought, or you've judged somebody by some look or something, you're gonna crack some joke. It's better just not to say a word, right? It is just really the best thing. And a lot of that is I'm telling myself and my people here the same thing, right? It's better not to, things are best left unsaid, right? Completely. 26. The things which defile a man, such as fornication, malice, envy, obscenity, and adultery, come from a weeping ulcer within the mind. Comedians are probably going to be judged on another kind of level, right? Having to make these jokes that are all about such a thing such as this, right? You can't go to a comic club without having a weeping ulcer within your mind, right? You hear stuff. I mean, it's all fresh stuff that these guys have just made up. And the point of a comedian is to shock you. It's to shock you into like, wow, that was so hard. That's crazy funny. And these are the things that we shouldn't be involved in, right? We shouldn't be these people that are the laughing stock, the guys around the cooler that can make everybody laugh by some obscenity or some evil stuff. And this is the same thing that when we read in the book of Khalidi, and one of the things that really, really convicted myself and my family was that this man was invited into a wedding. And while he was sitting at this wedding, he became belligerent and started cracking these rude jokes or something. He said something very evil amongst the group. And so he was grabbed and he was booted out to an even worse place, to a filthy place, a place where he would fit right in because that's the kind of guy he was. So we don't want to be these filthy people. We don't want to be defiled and nasty and have these evil thoughts. And so, continuing on, Messiah says, the uncleanness within a man is like a stone dropped in water, the ripples going out from him to contaminate others. And this is the thing, is Messiah talks about this before, and he's talked about these ripples that go out, and we are going to be accountable for generations of things that we have done. Whether they be good or whether they be bad, we are going to hear of our work here. What have we done? What did we spend our time doing good or did we spend our time doing bad? What is the bottom line? And when it comes up to the weights of measurement, have we held our weight? Are we able to outweigh the bad? Have we changed our ways? Have we followed it? And a lot of us, guys, I come from the streets. I'm a straight up thug. My youth was carrying around a shotgun, dealing dope, robbing, stealing cars. Like, if you're listening to one of the hardest criminals that were out there that came and did it, and that was like 30 some years ago. Things have dramatically changed, and now you're listening to the other side of that guy, that same guy that is willing to break into houses and to steal and rob and just plunder things that were not mine. Obviously those are things that were not good, but you can see how far the hands of our Creator can reach out. And the thing is, I still carry all this thug with me. In fact, it never ever, even when my kid was born 17 years ago, I was still a thug. Eli, his middle name is Shug. He's a straight up gangster. We came from all sorts of crazy crimes. And so here we are. If things like that, if our Creator is able to reach into the depths of hell and the depths of evil and can pull us out and can make us love His word and love His ways and reject the ways of darkness and reject the old man who I used to be, and all of this, it can happen to everyone, right? And so there's always a chance, which is why we always need to be reaching out to those who are out there who are willing to listen. And you'll never know who your neighbor is going to be. You're never going to know who could be Torah keepers unless you give these people an opportunity to reject the kingdom or not. And so this is why sometimes a bag of hamburgers with a set of people alongside the road in tents, and you just talk to them, see how they're doing, offer them up a meal, say, hey, this is by the hand of our Creator that He's making this happen right here for you guys. And I just want you guys to know you're loved, and share some scripture, share a little bit more than the Christian rhetoric that all of these people obviously know, right? And you can show love in so many different ways and compassion. So continuing on, we don't want to be these guys that are jacking things up, they're rippling things up, right? That's not good. 27. To all outward appearances, many of you live good lives, but inwardly you are full of hypocrisy and deceit. You erect memorials over the graves of those who spoke with the voice of Yahuwah and decorate the monuments to the martyrs who died unjustly. You say, had we lived in those times, we would have never done the things our forefathers did. But do you take care to ensure your children never have cause to say the same about you? Therefore, do not set your standards by those days, but according to the better ones in the days of your children. Big stuff, right? The standards that all of us need to understand is that most people have rejected the standards. This is to be a tenant in the kingdom to come, to be somebody who's accepted, to be somebody who our Messiah says, welcome, dear child, welcome, thank you, my brother. It is that we are astute in the Torah, that we are following the Torah with all of our heart, mind, and soul. It's not just a once in a while thing. It's just not when we have the whim on it. It's something that is part of the kingdom walk. The words of our Creator are something that we need to hallow, we need to accept, we need to memorize, we need to know, we need to be able to, without a shadow of a doubt, defend against. When people go, oh, all food has been made clean, you're like, my friend, that's not true. There's not a single statement in any real scriptures that says such a blasphemous thing. And it's blasphemous because it goes against the word of our Creator. But it may not be a soul killer, but it's obviously a body killer. It's the people eat pig just like they're like, oh, it's all clean meat. Why don't you just go pick up roadkill and slice it up and dice it up and make some bacon out of it as well? It's probably super delicious like pig, right? That's the thing. We have rules and regulations that we are told not to touch and we're not to be around. The janitors, we know our Creator knows these things intimately. He created them. He knows exactly from their toenails to the end of their tails how these things work and how he made them to function and what their priority and what their job is. And so he said, don't eat pork. It's in Leviticus 11. And so we have all of these things that we have in the Torah, and we need to look and strive. If we want to have the standards of the future, the standards of the future are the Torah. So guys, it is exciting, right? It's one of these things that, people that talk about the Torah often get like embarrassed because the Christians are very, very loud. They're extremely loud in their I know it all doctrine. They're extremely loud in their cult programming. They have it is from the beginning of Christianity, it is a complete cult, right? You learn things that aren't true. You believe things that you have been told without any kind of backing up, and you have the way to salvation that lets you live how you want to live while you're eating unclean food. But you mention any of this stuff to the Christians, and their programming, it pops off. They get angry, and so they're defending their faith. They're defending what they believe, that they think that they know, and they're defending what they've never read. And so if they have read it, and you'll run across Christians like, oh, I've read the scriptures before. And I'm like, well, obviously you didn't read them slow enough, and you didn't read them with enough care to realize that we are all Yisrael. Every single one of us could be Yisrael. When I say that, I'm just talking about a blanket group of people that obey the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and love them. We are the people that rejoice in them. They're the greatest thing ever, right? Other than the very breath our life has, what is the greatest moment? Well, the greatest moment is the Torah. I will take the breath to life as the secondary to it, because what kind of life is this to live if we don't have a Creator that wants to come pick us up at the end of our journey? What happens if we had nothing and all of this was for absolutely nothing? And I don't believe that. I believe our Creator has preserved His word. I believe He has definitely allowed some people to corrupt it, but the corruption could very well be one of these litmus tests of, are you going to believe the demigod named Paul, or are you going to believe our Creator and His ways? And a lot of people yell at me like, Jason, you don't go off on Paul enough. Look, I go off on Paul all the time. People need to understand that Paul was absolutely there for some kind of purpose or some kind of reason. What it is, I don't know. But whether it's not to be the litmus test or be that little test that people will fail at, where they will choose a man over their Elohim, maybe that's why he's here. Maybe it's full on deceit. I don't know. But that makes a lot of people angry. Guys, take it for what it is. If you know the first 5 books of scriptures without a shadow of a doubt as your guide to life, then the words of Paul aren't going to make a difference. You're going to look and you're going to look over this guy, the side eye look. That's what you're going to be looking over at Paul's stuff. You're going to be like, interesting. Wow, I don't know what this guy was even talking about. He was writing to some people I don't even know about a problem. I have no idea what he's talking about. And a lot of times you can explain Paul's writings away, but he made it to the scriptures for a reason, right? Whether or not to challenge the people and to test the people and to see who's going to be part of it, or maybe we just have to dig deeper. But regardless, the Torah is in, right? Whatever Paul says that you think is against the Torah, obviously he's mistaken, or he writes like a chump, or he writes like we don't understand. Either or, it's not legit. Continuing on, let's look here. 28. How far have I gone, guys? How deep in the rabbit hole? 29. Oh my goodness, guys. We're already at 30 minutes. I think this is it then, guys. And I think that's a good place to end, right? setting our standards by those days. We don't want to set the standards by the past. We want to set the standards to the future. And the future is 100% Torah. It's 100% the excitement of the kingdom to come. It's 100% everything that the people of righteousness want to seek, right? We want to seek this great place. We want to seek a place where everybody is in Torah, where everybody keeps the appointed times. We may not get all the appointed times right now. We may not figure all this out. We may have no idea what they did back in the days, but we can do the very best to keep them on the days and calendars that we can keep. And so, guys, with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I have much love for you guys all. Big hugs. I got a lot of stuff going on the rest of this week. I don't know so much as you guys will hear us, except for on Shabbat. So we live stream on Shabbat. And so we'd love to hear from you. It's on our main Yahuwah and the Torah channel on YouTube. Definitely love to hear from you guys, get you guys in the chat. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that we never go through, never talk to in the live chat. So it'd be exciting to see you. With that, everybody, much love. Shlomi, homies. I'm out.